The leisurely countryside of the farmer's daughter-in-law. Chapter 1, Traveling God, You Are Too Pitiful. Chapter 1, Traveling Through the Great God, You Are Too Pitiful. Young Lana seemed to hear a childish voice calling, "Mother," in a daze. When she tried to hear clearly, her head hurt so badly that she passed out again. Well dash. After an unknown amount of time, young Lana woke up again and covered her stomach with her hands. She was starving right now, and there seemed to be a fire burning inside her stomach. What happened? It seems that she has no stomach problems. Open your eyes slightly. Silly. What catches the eye is the loose thatched roof and the adobe wall. What's the situation? What happened? Could it be that she was rescued? But it's impossible. It stands to reason that she has died, and there is no possibility of her surviving. What is this place? She sat up with difficulty and looked around quietly. Some parts of the adobe walls had fallen off and were pitted. There is a small wooden lattice window opposite the bed, making it appear that the light in the room is relatively dark. There was a wooden shelf under the window sills, and an old wooden basin was placed on it. There are two old wooden boxes, one large and one small, stacked on the left-hand side of the bed, all of which are unpainted logs. There is a small wooden table and 3 stools in the middle of the room, one of which is missing a leg. The bed she sleeps in is an old and simple canopy bed with a broken straw mat, and the quilt that has been patched so many times that the cotton wool inside has hardened and clumped. Young Lana looked at the clothes on her body. Feeling a little cold, I want to pull up the quilt. Wait. Something is wrong. How did her hands turn into shriveled chicken feet? God! This is not her hand. Her fingers are not to mention slender, but they are similar. They are slender and white, and they are a little calloused from playing with wooden warehouses for many years. If you touch it now, your body is shriveled and only ribs remain. Oh, my God! Although she likes to be thin for beauty, she doesn't like ribs either. Then I hurriedly searched my heart, thinking to myself, fortunately, I didn't disappoint too much. God of time traveling, I'm dripping with sweat. The focus of your attention is so strange. Young Lana suspected that it was her hallucination. Could it be that he crossed over? At this time, there was another spasm in the stomach, and the headache was splitting in the head. Under the double blow, she lay on the bed with her body arched, pressing her stomach desperately with her hands, biting her lip. Her whole body was cold, and her forehead was covered in cold sweat. It took half an hour to slowly recover, and the clothes on her back were all wet with sweat. She opened her watery eyes, which were full of stubbornness. Young Lana understood that she had time traveled. Through the memory of the original owner, I know that I have traveled to a place called Shangha village in Dane country. The original owner is also called Young Lana, the daughter of the Yang family in Lishu village. She married Tan Anjuan, a hunter in Shangha village 6 years ago. Half a month after the marriage, Tan Anjuan was conscripted and went to the battlefield. Not long after her husband left, she found out that she was pregnant and gave birth to twin sons. The creaking door is opened. Mother. Young Lana looked up and saw the 2 little Luotu walking in. The 2 little Luotu saw that their mother had woken up, so they quickly rushed towards the bed. At this time, young Lana saw them clearly. On her thin face, there were a pair of jewel-like phoenix eyes, thin lips, and slightly upturned nose. Oops. How many girls will be fascinated when they grow up? The coarse cloth clothes with a lot of patches are worn loosely on the body, which can be described as skinny. Bauer, Belle, young Lana shouted involuntarily. Young Lana watched Bauer wanting to climb up, and was dominated by the remaining emotions of the original owner, so she hugged Bauer up. The light weight made her heart tremble. The 5-year-old child is not as heavy as a normal 3-year-old child, and he caresses the heads of the babies lovingly. The babies looked up at her. Mother, don't leave us. The babies nestled in her arms nervously, and this time they scared them. Gulyalu. Bao shyly covered her stomach and smiled. Young Lana suddenly felt a dull pain in her heart. Mother will cook, you 2 will rest on the bed. After saying that, she stood up, her eyes darkened and dizzy for a while. She leaned on the bed and stood still for a while, waiting for the dizziness to subside, and then slowly stood up straight. Mother? Mother is fine, you stay here and be good. Young Lanner slowly moved out the door. This room is in a line shape, divided into 3 adobe rooms, and the bedroom just now is on the left. In the middle of the door is the main room, where a set of square tables and benches are placed, where the family usually eats and meets guests, and some farm tools and sundries are placed against the wall. On the right is the stove room, with a stove and 2 stove eyes. Such a stove can hold 2 pots, one large and one small, at the same time, which is very practical, and there are bowls and other stove supplies in the small cabinet next to it. Young Lanner looked around, only half a bowl of black noodles remained. Enduring the convulsions in her stomach, she added water to the pot. When she looked at the yellow water in the bucket, the corners of her mouth twitched, and she cried without tears. Her house, car and tickets are all gone. In her previous life, she was a gold medal agent. After the last mission was completed, an accident happened when she was preparing to retreat. When the explosion happened, she only had time to push the deputy team away. When she woke up again, she was already here, and she suddenly became the mother of 2 children, and she also had a cheap husband. I don't know if the teammates are safe. She vomited furiously in her heart, God of time travel, you are too foolish. In fact, she did the same. Rush out from the stove, stand in the yard and give the to the sky. Great time traveler. It's hard to be a good person, cry. Young Lanner took a deep breath and looked at the yellow mountains and khaki fields in the distance due to the drought, and the scattered houses under the mountains. Composing a picture is very beautiful for modern times, but it is cruel at this time. Many villagers in the village have already fled the famine, and the rest are some older villagers or those who are hesitant to miss their homeland and will not give up until the end. They always think that it may rain tomorrow. At that time, there will be salvation, and there is no need to leave home. Stomach pain came again, alas. You can't hurt the spring and the autumn, otherwise you will starve to death. Ponder, at least the air is clean here. Anyway, I can't go back, so if you come, let's settle down. Let's settle this meal for now, and let's talk about feeding our stomachs. Entered the stove, washed the pot, poured water, squatted in front of the stove to light a fire, picked up the flint on the side of the stove, found some dry grass, and scraped the flint a few times. This is what she learned when she was in the Secret Service. Slowly ignite the fire, when the water boils, slowly pour in the black noodles, stir while pouring, and the meal is ready. Young Lanner stepped into the room and saw the babies asleep, the corners of her lips slightly raised. Bauer, Belle, get up quickly, it's time to eat, hurry up. Mother, I'm so hungry. Mother, is the meal ready? I want to eat. Okay, get up quickly. Young Lanner couldn't help feeling soft when she saw them. Fong Fei uploaded a new article, please collect, recommend, and support, please. End of this chapter. The leisurely countryside of the farmer's daughter-in-law. Chapter 2, Up the Mountain. Chapter 2, Up the Mountain. Original owner, haven't you left yet? Young Lanner looked at the sun after eating, calculated the time before 2 p.m., and said to the twins, Baby, Mother, go to the mountain to see what to eat, don't run around at home. Mother, we also want to go with you, okay? Baby, it's a long way up the mountain. You guys walk slowly. When you get to the mountain, the son father-in-law will go down the mountain. Mother, go and come back quickly, okay? Young Lanner complained silently in her heart, it's really not our place to coax children, it's done by a woman who hangs out with men all day long. After all the good words, I finally got the consent of the 2 brothers and coaxed the 2 children. Young Lanner breathed a sigh of relief, picked up the back basket and sickle and walked quickly up the mountain. Tonight's dinner has not been settled yet, there is only half a bowl of black noodles at noon, even if it is boiled into a mush, it is still very watery. Now her stomach is almost full of water, and the 2 babies are half full. But it is sensible to say that I am full, which makes people feel distressed. Thinking of this, young Lanner straightened her back and sped up the speed. Tan's house is halfway up the mountain, not far from the back mountain, and it is very convenient to go up the mountain. It is now March, and Shanha village belongs to the south, and at this time in previous years, the grasses should grow, but this year, due to the drought, the grasses and wild vegetables on the ground are all gone. Poached away. The surrounding areas of the mountain are all bare. Young Laner didn't want to waste time, so she went directly to the deep mountain, and the greener gradually became more and more deep. While walking, I observed the surroundings, hoping to see some wild vegetables. After walking for another quarter of an hour, I suddenly saw a few purslane trees in front of me. Although there are only a few small ones, young Laner is still very happy. At the same time, I also despise myself in my heart. Young Laner saw your future, and bought you with a few wild vegetables. It seems that the more you live, the more you go back. After harvesting, I walked in again, and sure enough there were still some wild vegetables inside, like gray vegetables, dandelions, etc. But it's not enough. Although it's a drought now, if you can live a better life, who wants to live a poor life? Young Laner went to the depths quickly again. It was getting late, and she promised the babies to go back early. In fact, she was worried about letting the two brothers stay at home alone, so let's go faster. Thinking of this, she quickly went deeper. The mountains behind the Tan family are collectively referred to as Dachong Mountain. The mountains of Dachong Mountain are connected by mountains and stretch for hundreds of miles. The mountain peaks are tortuous and precipitous, with precipices and cliffs. In the deep valleys and gullies, there is an unpredictable mountain atmosphere. The rough mountains are undulating, and the big trees are soaring into the clouds. Of course, there are many poisonous snakes and beasts in the deep mountains. The villagers of Shangha village dare not go deep into the mountains. They usually collect firewood and dig wild vegetables at the foot of the mountain. Even the hunters in the village only hunt in the outer area. There used to be many people who did not believe in evil, and they never came out after entering. As time passed, no one dared to enter the inner circle of Dachong Mountain. The original Xianggong was also a hunter in the past, and he often hunted in the outer area. The original owner is you are the original owner, her husband is not your husband now. Thee is not happy. Someone is unconscious at this time, she has already left the single. Expect. Young Laner's position at this time is almost between the outer and inner circle of the deep mountain. Birdsong could already be heard here, and at the same time she raised her vigilance and looked around. Slowly search around to see what wild vegetables can be eaten. Suddenly, a vine plant not far ahead caught her attention. She ran to it, squatted down, and quickly dug the soil with a sickle, waiting to see the plump purple-red rhizome below. Note, this kind of yam grows in the south, with a shallow and short surface, which is different from the northern Taichu yam. Young Laner was ecstatic. The sky will never die and I will be. Tonight's dinner is settled. Actually, seeing the little ones eating half full but saying they were full at noon in order not to worry her made her quite sad at that time. Young Laner quickly dug out all the nearby yams and put them in the basket. Yam is rich in starch and protein, and has the functions of invigorating qi, nourishing the lungs, strengthening the kidney, and benefiting the essence. It is a very good tonic food for the current body of their family. Put on the basket and continue walking in, harvesting more than a dozen yams along the way. Young Laner felt a lot more relaxed. The light in the woods was getting darker and darker. She looked up at the sky, guessed it was getting late. She thought that she should come here today and go back first. The two brothers were at home, which made her feel uneasy. Go back and change the route, and dig some wild vegetables one after another. Originally, young Laner wanted to eat a pheasant or a hare to satisfy his hunger, but he didn't see it. It may be because of the drought that even the wild vegetables on the periphery have been lighted. Rabbits and pheasants have all gone to the inner circle, and she will go to the inner circle next time. You can't guard this resource-rich Dasong Mountain and still starve to death, right? As the saying goes, support the bold to death, and starve the timid to death. Of course she will not take her own life lightly, she will do what she can, and she still cherishes her life. But on the way back, I found a small mountain spring in a crevice of a cliff. What a surprise. The east corner is lost, and the mulberry elm is harvested. It happened that she was so thirsty that her throat was smoking, so she drank it from the bamboo tube she carried with her, filled it up and took it home for the two brothers to drink. Drought makes water extremely precious. If the drought continues, there will be almost no water to drink. It may not be long before the villagers have to flee the famine. Well. The people are in dire straits. Gotta figure out a way to survive. People without thought, he must worry about. Young Lana felt that it was better to settle the immediate worries before considering other long-term concerns. Her immediate worry is that she is now so hungry that she sings. She wanted to fill her stomach, so she had to speed up her pace and head home. Go home and enter the yard is quiet. Young Lana panicked and shouted loudly, "Bauer, Belle, Mother is back." At the same time, the footsteps have already moved towards the room. "Mother, brother, Mother is back." Bauer laughed. "Mother, you're back." Ha! Belle was very excited. Hearing their voices, young Lanar's high-hanging heart fell back to reality. At the same time, I threw the basket by the door of the main room, and I rushed into the bedroom, and saw the babies sitting on the bed, as if they had just woken up, so cute. Ba gee. Ba gee. Hold two little heads and kiss each face. Hee hee. Mother. Hey. Mother, a lot of saliva. Ba, ba. Another kiss. Did you miss your mother? Unanimous voice, think. Are you hungry? Mother will cook something delicious for you, okay? It is good. Well. I didn't expect her, the overlord flower of the Secret Service team, to say such unnutritious words one day. It should be regarded as parent-child interaction. Hey. Comfort yourself. Cover your face. Baji, Baji, a few kisses. Please collect, please recommend meme. End of this chapter. The leisurely countryside of the farmer's daughter-in-law. Chapter 3, Past Events. Chapter 3, Past Events. You two get up quickly, Mother will make dinner first. Okay, Mother. Young Lana dumped the wild vegetables and yams in the basket on the ground, and sat by the stove to fold the vegetables. The wild vegetables are all picked clean, and a few yams are peeled. Make a quick fire to cook. Cook the yam soup, take it out of the pot quickly, then chop the wild vegetables and put it in, sprinkle a few grains of salt to taste. There is no way that in the current disaster year, many people don't even have the wild vegetables to eat. It is very rare for her family to have this yam soup for dinner today. Wow! It's delicious. Mom, what is this? Bauer looked at the soup in her bowl and asked. Mom, is this delicious? Belle asked while drooling while looking at the soup in the bowl. Looking at their adorable appearance, young Lana laughed. In the previous life, I never thought of getting married and having children, but I never thought of traveling to get married and have children in one step. Life is full of surprises. The white color is yam, the rhizome of a vine plant. It was dug by my mother on the mountain today. Eating it will strengthen your body, and you brothers will grow taller if you eat it. Young Lana smiled. Mimi, he fooled the two brothers. Really? The two stupid and cute people really believed it. Really, try it quickly. Be careful, it's hot. In the end, only the sound of gobbling was left. Eat slowly, be careful of choking. Seeing the two slowing down, they felt relieved. Well. It's all about disaster years. After dinner, young Lana tidied up the kitchen, found a big bathtub from the corner of the kitchen and put it on the ground. She was stunned just after putting it away. No water. Habit developed in previous life, take a bath before going to bed. Damn. I really want to curse. No. It's like scolding the time travel god. Crossing God. Smell the smell of the body, well, a sour smell. I will endure. I can bear it. Almost like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Can't take a bath before going to bed, it's depressing to think about it. See how dark it is. Sleep, babies. Oh, sleep, I want to sleep in it. I'm going to sleep in the middle. Okay, you can sleep however you want. Sleeping with the children, still my own son. This is something young Lana has never experienced, how should I put it? It's an indescribable feeling, but also feeling at ease, seeing their small faces and wanting to kiss them, it's a wonderful feeling. Right. It's just wonderful. Mother, when will Daddy come home? For a long time, I thought the babies were falling asleep, but in the silent night, I suddenly heard Bowers murmur. Maybe it's time to go back. Mother doesn't know when your father will return home. Young Lawner said. Looking for Tan Anjuan's portrait from the memory of the original owner, it is very vague, only knowing that he is tall and straight, and his facial features are not clearly remembered. But just by looking at the facial features of the babies, you can tell what their father looks like. It should be clear and handsome. I don't know how my personality is. Mother, if Daddy doesn't come home again, we will flee to the famine with the villagers, and Daddy won't be able to find us when he comes back. Bowers said in frustration. Young Lawner smiled, that's why. She secretly thought, if we can't find us, we don't want him. In the border barracks, someone sneezed several times. Ah. Ah. Could it be that someone is thinking about him? Is it his little wife? How could she be doing well as a woman now? It seems that I have to find time to go back and see her as soon as possible. Young Lawner comforted softly, don't worry, Bauer, we don't need to flee famine. Wait at home for your father to come home, and he will be able to find us when he comes back. Oh. Will we be like what the villagers said? If we don't flee the famine, we will starve to death. Zayaduzzi told me that their family is going to flee the famine soon, and he invited us to walk together so that we can take care of them along the way. Bauer worried. Young Lawner patted his son's head, the little one really had a lot to worry about. She knew that Bauer hadn't had a father by her side since she was a child to shelter the three of them from the wind and rain, so it was conceivable that a woman would bring two twin sons. It was very difficult to live in the previous life, not to mention the ancient times with backward productivity. The hardships of survival can be imagined. Well, don't you believe what Mother said? Young Lawner pretended to be sad. Bauer nodded hurriedly, I believe in Mother, Mother is the best mother. Poof. Oh, this son is really fun, he has learned how to use sugar-coated cannonballs. Children can be taught. Go to sleep, don't think too much, the child will not grow up if you worry too much. Mother is there for everything. Well, go to sleep. Bauer responded with a strong nasal voice. Help the brothers cover the quilt, and pat lightly. After a while, there was a shallow and even breathing. Tossing all day today, it can be said that he is physically and mentally exhausted. This body is in poor health, and he needs to take good care of him in the future, plus exercise. Young Lawner didn't want to live her whole life with such a poor body. She closed her eyes and lay on the bed but couldn't fall asleep no matter what, the current drought had to be smoothed out. The original owner's natal family is in Lishu village, about 20 miles away from Shangha village. His father, Yang Zui, and his mother, Yang Lisher, had 4 sons and a daughter. The original owner was ranked 4th, and there were 3 older brothers. The eldest brother Yang Zunren married his wife Yang Zhou, and gave birth to a daughter and a son. The older one is 7 years old and the younger one is 5 years old. Conscripted in the same class as Tan Anjuan, brother-in-law and sister-in-law can be regarded as companions, supporting each other on the battlefield. The second elder brother Yang Tsunji married his wife Yang He and gave birth to 2 boys. The older one is 5 years old and the younger one is 2 years old. The third elder brother, Yang Tsunli, married his wife, Yang Li, and lived in the same village as his mother, Yang Li. Everyone called her Xiao Yang Li Shi to distinguish her. A pair of dragon and phoenix twins were born, and they are now 3 years old. The fourth brother Yang Tsuni married his wife Yang Ding. Haven't given birth yet. When the original owner was unmarried at home, because she was the only girl in the family doted on her very much. When I was 14 years old in the town, I accidentally saw Tan Anjuan, and was impressed by his dignified body and handsome appearance. A pair of eyes shot cold stars, and 2 eyebrows looked like paint, Young Lawner imagined, hee. Do you still want to face? Anyway, since that meeting, it was love at first sight, and later found out that it was the Orion of Shangha village. The original owner wanted to marry him as his wife, and the parents had nothing to do. She was like a jewel, like a treasure since she was a child, a daughter who had been pampered and raised with so much painstaking efforts, but she was also reluctant to be beaten or scolded. Persuading her earnestly, although the living conditions in Shangha village are better than those in Lishu village, Orion's life is not guaranteed. Besides, Tan Anjuan is an outsider. He came to Shangha village with his father to settle down, and after his father passed away, no one else knew where his hometown was. Father Yang is also eager to love his daughter, but after all, he can't stand up to her daughter's persistence. Newly married for half a month, the son-in-law was drafted away for military service. Life is not easy for a woman, but it was even worse when she found out she was pregnant. Thanks to her mother's family who took care of her from time to time, if not, the twins would have grown up safely to this day. Thank you for your eagerness to win, your heart is like still water, thank you Niemang for your recommendation ticket, I love Niemang, so what? End of this chapter. The leisurely countryside of the farmer's daughter-in-law. Chapter 4, Discover Space. Chapter 4, Discovering Space. Young Lanner tossed and turned, her body in the previous life must have been blown to pieces, and now she couldn't go back even if she wanted to, so she had to think about how to live a better life here. The first thing we have to face is the drought. The drought has been going on since last spring. How can we bring our family through it safely? Flee from famine. As soon as this idea came to her mind, she suppressed it. She didn't want to go and would not run away. At this time, the drought has been so long, and it is almost the same wherever she escapes. It is better to rely on oneself than to rely on others. This is what she has always believed. And Dachong Mountain behind is the best reliance. It is impossible for the deep mountains and old forests to be completely dry. Only in the deep mountains can we find water and food. Tomorrow she has to go into the inner circle for a walk. If she can hunt prey, her life can be improved. Her mouth has faded out of the bird. In fact, some time ago, the villagers organized a hunting team to enter the mountain, but unfortunately they encountered a few wolves. The villagers had no combat experience, and they were timid. In the end, the hunting ended with the death of 2 people and the injury of several others. The old village chief secretly regretted not listening to the warnings of his ancestors, and ventured in. The result. Young Laner thought if he could find a valley with beautiful mountains and clear waters, live in the valley with his family, and come back after the drought passed. Young Laner was dreaming, her head was dizzy and the scene changed. It was dark outside, but suddenly it was bright as day, her eyes narrowed, and then slowly opened. What is this place? I came here when I opened my eyes while I was still sleeping on the bed. I sat up slowly and saw a large piece of black land in front of me, about 3 or 4 acres in size. Next to it is a wooden house. Stand up, the sky has no sunlight, and the sky is white. Looking at his body again, he was still wearing the coarse clothes that had been patched during the day, which meant that he hadn't traveled through time again. Is this the portable space written by web novels? Hiss. He pinched his thigh, it was not a hallucination. Hit the jackpot. Haha, space is in my hand, I have the world. Ha 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 ha. Drought? What am I afraid of if I have space? Ha. After laughing enough, I choked up, and I was able to vent the panic from crossing over. Wait until the mood is calm before remembering, Ling Quan. It doesn't mean that every space has spiritual springs. Young Laner ran around the wooden house in the space, looking for spring water, and found a well on the side of the wooden house. The water in the well is very clear, 10 centimeters deep from the mouth of the well. She directly took the well water with both hands and took a few sips. The water is very clear and sweet, but I don't know if it is a spiritual spring. Walking into the wooden house slowly, I found that the wooden house looks small from the outside, but the space inside is very spacious. The entrance is a hall, with 3 rooms on each side and 1 room facing the gate. Young Laner pushed open the first room on the left, and found that it was a kitchen, which was very spacious, and one wall was a long stove with 3 stove holes. 3 pots can be used for cooking at the same time. Well, it's convenient. The other side is a row of cabinets against the wall, in which there are various kitchen utensils such as dishes and basins, as well as various condiments. There are some farm tools in the innermost corner. Exit and open the second room, which should be the pharmacy room. There is a medicine tripod in the middle of the room, and there are 3 rows of medicine cabinets against the wall. There are various traditional Chinese medicines, whether you know it or not. There are also refined pills and powders. The 3rd room was open and empty. The room facing the door is a study room, with a desk and a chair in the middle. Except for the entrance wall, there are 3 large bookshelves standing against the other 3 walls, which are filled with all kinds of books, densely packed. Come to the desk and find that besides the 4 treasures of the study, there is a letter on the desk. Pick it up and open it. The words on it are in traditional characters. Luckily I know it. It turns out that this is the Miaoling dimension, which was refined by a great immortal cultivator. Later, after Daneng's sword, this space remained, waiting for someone with predestined relationship. The 3rd room is a warehouse with its own fresh-keeping function. The black soil outside the wooden house can be planted 10 times faster than the outside world. The water in the well does not have the miraculous effect of washing the tendons and cutting the marrow with spiritual spring water. But drinking it can strengthen your body and improve your physique. The letter ends with a pattern, a peach blossom. Why is it so similar to the jade pendant I wore around my neck in my previous life? Could it be that he was killed and traveled through this space and followed him, and this space will only open after an explosion? Don't worry about it, the most important thing is that this space is hers now. Haha. Hit the jackpot. The weather is fine today, and the scenery is beautiful everywhere. The butterflies are busy, the bees are busy, the birds are busy, and the white clouds are also busy. Young Lana was humming a song while checking the books on the bookshelf. She probably browsed through them, and found that there were many kinds. After reading all these books, you can't finish reading them in more than 10 years. Let's take a look at the other 3 rooms first. The one next to the study is a bedroom. The classic carved bed is covered with a light blue satin quilt, which is fresh and elegant with a touch of floral fragrance. On the left-hand side is a row of wardrobes. When opened, there are ancient clothes of various colors in unknown fabrics. Wow! It's so beautiful. However, she can't wear such high-quality fabrics at this time, so she can only enjoy her eyes. On the right-hand side is the dressing table, and there is a jewelry box with 7 drawers on the dressing table. Next to the dressing table is a door, which is open to find a bathroom with a bathtub. The water in the bath was still lukewarm. Could it be a hot spring? The remaining 2 should be guest rooms, not as big as the first bedroom, but both have bathrooms. Out of the wooden house, you can see the 3 or 4 acres of black land at the beginning, and the rest of the place is white. Pinch the jaw, how to enter and exit this space. Began to come in, as if thinking of a valley with beautiful mountains and rivers, then came in. I want to go out, no response. Could it be entered and exited by ideas? Thinking about going back to bed, he came out after a while. Tried back and forth several times, she jumped out of bed excitedly, found a change of clean clothes from the old box, entered the space again, and came to the bathtub. I took off my clothes and washed it from head to toe. After drying my hair, I felt that my head was a few pounds lighter, and my whole body felt refreshed. Young Lana smiled slightly, and came to the mirror, only to see the woman in the mirror, with slightly damp long hair, dark skin and thin face, eyes like water, unpainted but emerald green eyebrows, untouched lips. Zhu. He breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately this body is very malleable. My heart is flattered. It is not difficult to make yourself fair and beautiful in the future. Going back to the bed, she yawned, saw that the 2 babies were sleeping soundly, and curled her lips to hug them and fell asleep peacefully. End of this chapter. The leisurely countryside of the farmer's daughter-in-law. Chapter 5, Venture into the inner circle of Dasong Mountain. Chapter 5, Adventure into Dachong Mountain. Back to the bed, yawned, saw that the 2 babies were sleeping soundly, smiled and hugged them to sleep peacefully. Had a good night's dream. Young Lana woke up at dusk, and saw that the 2 babies on the side of the bed were sleeping soundly. He walked out of the room lightly, took a deep breath against the slightly cold morning light, and raised his lips slightly. The air in ancient times was so nice. Young Lana came to the kitchen, first went to the space to fill the bucket with water, and after washing, drank a bowl of sweet well water from the space. Getting up early in the morning and drinking water on an empty stomach can clean the stomach. I took a few yams and scraped their skins, washed them and cut them into hob pieces, put them in a pot, added water, and covered the yams. Cover the pot, add wood to make a fire, and slowly the pot will overflow with fragrance. Babes, wake up. Raise your hand to caress their cheeks and pinch their noses. The babies murmured and rubbed against her hand, their thick eyelashes trembling, and slowly opened their watery eyes. It's so cute, it makes her heart feel soft. Mother, yeah, just woke up with a lazy milk cavity. It sounds good no matter what. Young Lana lowered her head and smiled slightly, kissed them on the cheeks, and said softly, "Baby, get up soon, it's time to eat." After breakfast, young Lana smiled and said to the babies, "Baby, my mother is going to go to the mountains today. Be good at home and don't go out, you know." "Okay, mother, come back early." Bauer nodded. Belle lowered her head and kneaded the corner of her clothes, and said, reluctantly. Young Lana went out carrying bamboo beetles and bows and arrows. The bows and arrows were used by Tan Anjuan before, and she found them out from the corner of the kitchen this morning. She was not very familiar with the environment on the mountain, so she dared not take her sons up the mountain hastily. On the way into the mountain, she avoided the villagers far away. She plans to go into the deep mountain today. If the villagers see her and invite her to go into the mountain together, will she go with them, or take them? None are suitable. Half an hour later, I came to the place where the yam was found yesterday. Cut off the stick and advance towards the inner circle of Dachong Mountain. The inner circle is inaccessible all the year round, so when you look up from a distance, towering trees appear one after another, growing lush and dense, blocking the line of sight. The sunlight is like strands of golden sand, passing through layers of branches and leaves, and falling on the dead branches and leaves on the ground. Young Lana kept an eye on her surroundings while walking, and found a lot of medicinal materials, including some precious medicinal materials, all of which were dug up and thrown into the space. She planned to divide a plot of land in the space to grow medicinal herbs. Young Lana drank some water, heard a rustling sound behind her, turned around quietly, and a gray rabbit emerged from the bushes not far away. Bending down to pick up a stone, aiming at it and throwing it hard. The rabbit flopped on all four legs and fell to the ground. Young Lana happily ran over and lifted the rabbit's leg, which was quite fat. He found a vine, tied his legs, and threw them into the bamboo stalks. Continuing to move forward, we shot 2 pheasants one after another on the way. Walked for about half an hour. Walking out of the dense woods, the eyes suddenly opened up. This is a low shrub forest, and young Lana found a large piece of bracken. Densely over half of the hillside, dark purple and bright green, very strong and attractive. You must know that she used to go to various mountains and dense forests for field training, so she is naturally very familiar with these things. Young Lana was overjoyed, and began to pinch the fresh bracken. I was thinking about how to make it delicious. Take it back and blanch it in boiling water, then soak it in cold water for a while. Whether it is cold or stir-fried, it is delicious. If it is fried with bacon, add some chili and minced garlic. Sizzle. Can't think anymore, swallowed saliva. Young Lana speeded up, and the bamboo basket couldn't fit, so she loaded it into the space, and the flow of time in the space warehouse is static. I'm not afraid that the bracken will rot if I can't finish eating it. In my spare time, I can also dry it and store it. In autumn and winter, it can be soaked and stewed with meat. The dried bracken absorbs the oil in the broth, and it tastes very delicious. After a long time, I finally finished picking this piece. Straighten up, exhale a mouthful of stale air. Looking at the sky, it was past noon. Quickly pack up the basket, put it on and walk back. When he was about to walk into the woods, he heard rustling again, and young Lana quickly dodged behind a big tree. After a while, there was a sound of wheeze, wheeze. Stretching out his head from behind the tree, young Lana was amused. It was an adult wild boar. He quietly took off his bow, bent the bow and set an arrow, aiming at the wild boar's eyes. With a sound of whoosh, the arrow killed him. Simply neat. Boom, the wild boar fell to the ground. Walked over and kicked, an arrow hit the eye. Young Lana is very satisfied with her archery skills. Take the wild boar into the space and continue to walk back. When passing by the small mountain spring found in the crevice of the cliff yesterday, Lana thought about it and took out the pheasant. She didn't bother to pluck the hair and directly peeled the skin to clean the internal organs. So as not to go home, she doesn't like trouble. Young Lana eats chicken, duck and fish, but never eats the skin or internal organs. Even after going through the drought at this time, she can't make her change. Throw the cleaned pheasant into the space, wash your hands and pick up the back basket and hurry home. After that, there was basically no accident, and I arrived at the foot of the mountain safely. It was Shinshur when I got home, and when I walked into the courtyard and heard Bauer and Bayer giggling, young Lana's heart trembled. Who came home? Thank you. Can you give me a thumbs up if you see it's in Ruzashui for the recommendation ticket? Love Ni Meng Me. Please recommend, please collect, pass by and move your fingers. End of this chapter. The leisurely countryside of the farmer's daughter-in-law. Chapter 6, Brother is here. Chapter 6, The second brother is here. Walking into the main room quickly, young Lana looked at it in surprise. The young man sitting in the main room looked familiar. At this time, Belle jumped off the stool and ran over happily. Holding her leg, she said, "Mother, Uncle is telling us a story." "Lana, why did you enter the mountain alone?" "Oh, I found the corresponding young man in patched coarse clothes from my memory. It was young Tsuenji, the second elder brother of the original owner." "Second brother, why are you here today?" Young Lana asked with a smile. She was an orphan in her previous life and never felt the care of her family. "So I don't feel disgusted with people like the young family who really care about me. I am also willing to accept and be included in the category of my own people, and be protected under my own wings. Father and mother, don't worry, let me come and see you." Young Tsuenji stood up, walked over quickly, and helped her take off the pannier. "See the bracken in the back basket?" "Lana." Young Lana's heart skipped a beat. Young Tsuenji glared at her with a straight face. "Have you entered the inner circle of Dachong Mountain?" Didn't go in much. Far." Looking at the stern face of the second elder brother, and staring at her angrily with soared eyebrows, why does young Lana feel a little guilty? "Lana, are you injured?" Young Tsuenji gouged her out and said helplessly. Putting the basket aside, "My sister has been stubborn since she was a child. I have nothing to do with her." No, hee. "Bauer, Belle, have you had lunch yet?" Young Lana quickly changed the subject. "Mother, let's eat," Bauer said. "Uncle cooked for us. It's delicious," Belle said, complimenting Uncle by the way. Sure enough, the second brother grinned and closed his eyes with a smile. "Second brother, how is Lishu village now?" asked the twins, walked to the table and sat down. Suddenly, a look of melancholy flashed across young Tsuenji's face. He frowned, walked over and sat down slowly and said, "Most of the whole village has fled from the famine now, there are only less than 10 households left, and I'm afraid they won't last long. What are your parents' plans now?" Young Tsuenji sighed. "My father and mother told you to get ready and prepare to flee the famine in the past 2 days. Lishu village has a problem with drinking water now, so you can't go." The twins tugged on her sleeves tightly, their little faces tensed, and young Lana reached out and stroked their heads. Looking at young Tsuenji, "Second brother, how much food do you have at home?" "It's enough for the whole family to last for 3 or 4 days, young Tsuenji said honestly. "Second brother, what if you run out of food on the way to escape from famine? You may think that you can beg, but have you ever thought about who is begging from when everyone is fleeing famine?" "Second brother, how to solve the most basic drinking water. A large family, old and young, if a vicious incident occurs, how will the safety be guaranteed?" Young Tsuenji didn't know how to answer, he didn't think about these questions. "Second brother, is there any place in Dang Kingdom that has not been affected by the disaster?" "Here, they are all going to Beijing." "All of them are going, yes, Dang Kingdom is now mostly drought." "Where can I escape?" "Second brother, even if you manage to escape to Kyoto, how many victims are there in Kwandang? Can Kyoto take care of them?" Young Tsuenji smiled shyly, squeezed his nose and sat quietly at the table. Young Lana froze for a moment and touched her ears. Did you just say too much? After all, the second brother also needs to save face. Second brother, do you see what I found on the mountain? As he spoke, he stood up, reached into the bamboo beetle, and took out 2 pheasants from the space. Young Lana took out 2 pheasants, bracken and hare from the basket. Young Tsuanji and the twins both had green eyes, and their eyes were shining brightly. I haven't tasted meat for a long time, and there is meat to eat. Young Lana looked at the big couple and the little 3 treasures with a smile. Second brother, why don't you come back after dinner? I just stewed these 2 pheasants. Okay, then I have a good fortune today. Oh. There's meat to eat, the twins cheered. Young Lana narrowed her eyes with a smile, and brought the pheasant into the kitchen. I saw a cloth bag on the cabinet. I opened it and saw that it was about a caddy of brown rice. Young Tsuanji entered the kitchen at this time. Bring it here to make porridge for you, let me light the fire. Okay, she added water to the pot and chopped the chicken into pieces. Then pinch off the bracken head and wash it, put it in a pot and blanch it in water. Pour out and soak in cold water. Wash the pot and stir-fry the chicken until the oil is golden, add water and stew. Without and garlic seasonings, it can only be made simply. Fern salad. Second brother, go back and discuss it with your parents. My idea is not to run away from the famine. The mountain is backed by Dachau Mountain, which is rich in products. You don't have to worry about being full. Young Lana glanced at him, and said again, you think about it for 2 days, and if you agree with my idea, you can come to my house. It's better for everyone to be safe together. Okay, we will discuss it when we get back at night. Don't worry, Lana. Well, you will bring that rabbit back later. Okay, Yang Tsuanji is not polite, the relationship between their brother and sister has been good since childhood. Everyone had a satisfying dinner. Although the seasoning is insufficient, the taste is good because the space well water is used. After dinner, Yang Tsuanji was going back. Yang Laner found an earthen jar and filled it with space well water. Put crock pots, rabbits, and bracken in the back basket. Second brother, be careful on the road. If you see someone, avoid it. People in disaster years are not old-fashioned. Who knows if they find something in the back basket and will rob it. Yang Tsuanji nodded, be careful at night. Say goodbye to the twins, and leave reluctantly. End of this chapter. The leisurely countryside of the farmer's daughter-in-law. Chapter 7, Family is here. Chapter 7 The family is here. After a busy day, Young Lana helped the twins take a bath and put them to sleep. Young Lana tidied up the kitchen and stepped into the space. Rolling up his sleeves, he found a butcher's knife from the space kitchen, first quickly processed the wild boar, and stored all the meat in the warehouse. Then the medicinal materials collected on the mountain during the day should be planted, and those that should be dried. Clapped his hands, took some commonly used medicinal materials, and entered the pharmacy. She needs to be equipped with some commonly used medicines so that she can carry them with her easily. Like hemostatic medicine, sore medicine, anthelmintic medicine, detoxification medicine, and so on. As the best gold medal agent in Huagua in the 21st century, it is inevitable that he will be injured when performing missions. Knowing medical skills is the most basic requirement, and her medical skills may not be top-notch in China. But in this era, it is definitely the existence of X. I don't know how long it took. Young Lana prepared all the medicines and put them in porcelain bottles. Stretched and shook his neck. Get up and go to the medicine cabinet, and carefully check the porcelain bottles on the medicine cabinet. There are various types of pills, but she finds that there is only one grid of medicines that she can take. The rest of the grids cannot be opened. The grid she saw included, Jiedu pill, hemostatic pill, Peiyuan pill, etc. Why are they all pills? Scratching your head, why do you feel, probably, like the names of pills you have heard in cultivation novels? Ah! Young Lana excitedly grabbed the jade bottle in the innermost grid. Washing marrow pill. Shi Sui Dan. Is it really Shi Sui Dan? She couldn't believe it. I can see and have this pill in my lifetime. In the legend, it can cleanse the tendons and cut the marrow, improve the aptitude, so that a mortal with low aptitude can be transformed into a cultivation genius? The time travel master rolled his eyes. Beautiful Su. Is it possible? Young Lanner opened the jade bottle with trembling hands, and counted 6 of them inside. It was trembling and tightly packed, and it was put back into the innermost part of the grid. She needed to calm down, so she came to the study and sat on a chair, taking a deep breath. Calm down, let's talk. Looked down and saw the drawer next to the desk. Pulling out the drawer, I found several jade slips inside. Young Lana rubbed the jade slip with her finger, lost in thought. This wonderful spirit space is refined by the power of cultivation. Everything in the space should be related to cultivation. Looking at the jade slip in his hand, what did he do with the cultivation novels he read before? She patted the jade slip on her forehead, but there was no response after a stick of incense. Cultivation texts are all lies. However, cultivation is too far away from her. For now, she should seriously hunt and farm to support her family. Coming out of space, the moon is already in the sky. Back in the bedroom and seeing the innocent sleeping faces of the babies, young Lanner felt extremely peaceful. When the past has become an unchangeable history and the future is still an unpredictable vision, the only thing we can do is, live in the present and grasp the present. Isn't it? Because I was thinking about going up the mountain, I got up early the next day. I lit a fire and made breakfast, boiled yam porridge for breakfast, and fried pork with bracken. Woke the 2 brothers up, washed up and sat down at the table respectively. After breakfast, as soon as the dishes were cleaned up, footsteps sounded outside. Lanner, Bauer, Bayer. Hearing someone shouting outside, he was about to get up and go out to see who it was. Bell heard excitedly shouting, "Grandma, Mother, it's Grandma." "Grandmother." Bao shouted out. People also rushed out. Young Lanner quickly got up and greeted her out. In the yard was the second brother, who was carrying a bundle. Beside the second brother was a middle-aged couple, and the twins were throwing themselves into their arms, acting coquettishly. Seeing the similar eyebrows, don't think this is the original owner's parents. The second elder brother had a string behind him, and the whole family came. "Father, Mother, hurry up and enter the house, everyone has worked hard all the way." Yang Li looked up at her daughter lovingly, and said distressedly, "My good girl, Lanner, suffered a lot, and her face is so skinny." Young Lanner's expression froze, and she almost choked to death on her saliva. Whoops! My old lady. A good old girl. Father Yang stroked his beard, "Hee, let's talk in the room. Grandfather, grandmother, uncle, aunt, elder sister, younger brother, younger sister, everyone, come into the house quickly," Bauer said heartily. Everyone entered the room and sat down separately, silent for a while. Father Yang said to his daughter in a deep voice, "Your second son conveyed your thoughts to us last night. The family members have discussed it. My daughter is right, but we didn't think it through. Drought. Actually it's not a big deal, I believe as long as the whole family is in the same boat, and the same spirit is connected, and the disaster year will be passed safely. It's the Lord who doesn't reward people with food, and doesn't give people a way to live." Yang Li wept. Young Lanner was stunned for a moment. In fact, relying on De Chongshan as her backing, she was really worried that she would not be able to survive the disaster year. She looked around and saw that they were all wives. She pursed her lips, "Father, Mother, and I are here with my second brother, third brother and younger brother. You don't have to worry, it will get better. Yes, Father, Mother, and us." The simple and honest men hurriedly expressed their loyalty. "Father, Mother, have you all had breakfast?" she asked without wanting to continue this heavy topic. It's like Vasily's classic lines, "There will be bread, there will be milk, and everything will be fine. I've used them all, don't worry about it." Father Yang waved his hand. Young Lanner patted her forehead, got up and went to the kitchen to serve tea and water for everyone, because she was used to being alone. In this delicate and meticulous work of dealing with people, it is inevitable that there will be negligence. Sister-in-law Yang Zhou also came to help, and she was stunned when she saw the clear well water in the bucket. Young Lanner glanced at her from the corner of her eye, and explained, this is brought back from a spring I found on the back mountain. Anyway, with the back of the Chong Mountain will be her panacea in the future. Fei, thank you for your support. Continue to collect and recommend more. End of this chapter. The leisurely countryside of the farmer's daughter-in-law. Chapter 8, then enter the inner circle and discover the valley. Chapter 8, re-entering the inner circle and discovering the valley. It's getting late, settle down with your family. Young Laner is about to enter the mountain. Yang Tsuenji hurriedly followed after seeing it. Laner, shall I go with you? We're fine at home anyway, and we'll go up the mountain together. Young Laner turned around, and all three brothers came out. Well, let's all go together. A group of people carried bamboo baskets to the inner mountains. I chose a new route today. Deep in the dense forest, old trees cover the sky to avoid the sun. From time to time, I can see a few pheasants being startled. Young Laner collected a lot of medicinal materials along the way, and a plant in front caught her attention. In the past, carefully distinguish and dig out the rhizome, it is still a real potato. Second brother Yang Tsuenji asked, Laner, can this be eaten? Young Laner looked up, and the expressions in the eyes of the three of them were, what is this, can it really be eaten? Shaking the potato in his hand, he said with a leisurely smile, this is a potato. It can be made into cakes, boiled and eaten as a meal. It can also be cooked, shredded, sliced, and lumped. It is very good for stir-frying and stewing meat, tasty. Oh, sister, stop talking, I almost drool. You're a bear, what's your point? Yang Tsuenji slapped his younger brother on the back of the head. In fact, he really wanted to try it himself. Then let's dig it out quickly. The third brother Yang Tsunli was not in the mood to watch them play tricks, and now his mind was thinking about how to bring all the potatoes home to feed his family. It can be said that the third brother is the real version of the hard worker. Okay. Everyone was in no mood to joke, rolled up their sleeves and dug up the whole potato. Sister, how do you know about this potato? Young Laner burst out laughing, her eyes slightly sad, and she sighed half seriously and half jokingly, I ate it before, and later I wanted to grow it myself. But you know that there is no land at home, so if you want to eat, you come to the mountain dug. The three brothers believed it was true, and they all felt distressed. I blame myself for not knowing how to take care of my younger sister, and she has to go up the mountain to find food. How dangerous it is on the mountain. After the potatoes were dug up, it weighed about 50 caddies in a basket. They put the basket under a big tree and marked it, and carried it again when they returned. No one came here in this deep mountain and old forest. Continuing to walk deep into the mountain, I saw Yang Laner, a pheasant, throwing a stone, and Yang Tsuni followed behind to pick it up. With fiery eyes, he hurriedly asked, Sister, who taught you that you are so powerful? Could it be that your brother-in-law taught you? Well, he taught it. With ready-made blamers, she didn't bother to make excuses. Hey, why didn't I expect him to teach me some tricks? Yang Tsuni sighed. Stop talking, we'll talk about it when we go back, the mountain is dangerous and concentrate on our journey. Yang Tsuenji scolded. Everyone nodded and looked around. Half an hour later, everyone found a cliff, which can also be said to be a line of sky. The cliff here is only 2 feet wide, and the cliffs on both sides soar into the clouds, and the confrontation almost merges into one. I'll go in and have a look. Young Lana raised her head and squinted her eyes. The three looked at each other and said in unison, let's go together. Young Lana was stunned, and laughed heartily, okay, today the 4 of us, brothers and sisters, are going to venture into this world. The second brother, Yang Tsuenji, used a machete to clean up the densely entwined vines at the entrance. Yang Laner took the lead, and the 4 brothers and sisters advanced towards the first line sky. After entering the inside, the vines slowly disappeared, and the cliffs on both sides were dark and damp and covered with moss. The road ahead is winding, dark and damp, and sometimes 1 or 2 centipedes with thick fingers can be seen. Young Lana wanted to catch it and sell it to a pharmacy, but didn't know if the pharmacy in the town was closed. Brother, what's going on in the town now? The shops in the town are closed, and many people have sold their properties to go to relatives. What do you want to buy, Lana? There may be some shops in the county that are not closed. Young Tsuenji, the second brother, replied while paying attention to his surroundings. Ask casually, let's talk about what you want to buy later. Young Lanner thought that one day she would have to go to the county town to have a look. Proceed carefully all the way, and the front will become bright after 2/4 of an hour. Everyone's eyes lit up and they quickened their pace. When turning that corner, the front suddenly becomes clear. What I saw in front of my eyes was a piece of low bushes, lush and lush, dotted with a few unknown flowers. On the grass in the distance, I occasionally saw a few rabbits jumping over. This valley is about 100 acres in area, all grassland and low shrubs, surrounded by cliffs. I didn't expect that there was a valley behind this line of sky. The second brother Yang Tsuenji exclaimed. Young Lanner smiled and said, let's find out if there are other exits. Okay, let's hunt some rabbits and go back later. Haha. The third brother Yang Tsunli said while walking. Fourth brother Yang Tsuni nodded, it's noon now, I will find a place here to rest later and roast some rabbits. Well, good. Everyone agrees. Everyone spread out in twos and searched around the stone wall. Young Laner said to the third brother next to him, third brother, pay attention to your feet, be careful of poisonous insects and snakes. Well, you pay attention too. Halfway through the search in this valley, Young Laner and the others found a cave entrance under a cliff. Walking in is very spacious, about 300 square meters. It is dry inside and has a large deck. Young Laner walked around, but didn't find the fork. Can't help but brighten up, third brother, the drought is still going on outside, you said that our family will move to this valley, okay? Young Tsunli was also satisfied, and said with a smile, it's really good, let's go outside. Have a look. It is good. The two continued to move forward, and at a turning, they found a pool of water, which was cool and deep under the cliff. Thank you, eager to win. Heart is like still water, happiness is still, thank you Niemang for your recommendation, I love Niemang. Okay. End of this chapter. The leisurely countryside of the farmer's daughter-in-law. Chapter 9, Starving. Chapter 9, Starving to Death. The two continued to move forward, and found a water pool at a turning point. The water pool was cool and deep under the cliff. The third brother Yang Tsunli approached the pool and found that the fish inside disappeared in a flash. Turning to young Lanner, she shouted excitedly, Lanner, there are still fish in this pool. The water is cold, so it's not suitable to enter the water. Young Lanner held him back and smiled, let's meet up with the second brother first, and see what they find. Yang Tsunli thought about it too, first meet them and see if they find anything. Now it seems that this valley is very suitable for living. There are caves and water sources. If there is no other exit, the safety problem can be solved. Not bad. He nodded secretly. Soon everyone met under the cliff. Second brother, what did you discover? Yang Tsunli asked impatiently. Yang Tsuenji smiled easily, pointed behind him and said, we walked all the way from there, and found no other exits, and I found that as long as there is no problem with the first line of sky, this valley is very safe. Pointing to the right again, we found a piece of vines over there, and the rest seemed to be low shrubs and grass. The fourth younger brother Yang Tsuni showed them a vine in his hand, frowned and said, oh, it's this kind. There is still white juice when it is broken, is it poisonous? Young Lanner saw the vine and grabbed it. He said excitedly, sweet potato vine, it's really sweet potato vine. Let's go and have a look. The three brothers looked at young Lanner's back inexplicably, and followed quickly. Arriving at the sweet potato field, young Lanner was inexplicably excited. He said to Yang Tsuenji behind him, second brother, quickly dig out some sweet potatoes. Oh, they are the roots from the ground. Looking at this large sweet potato field, I am more determined to let my family move. He bent down and pulled a handful of sweet potato vines, and quickly threw them into the space when they were busy digging sweet potatoes and didn't notice her. Yang Tsuenji straightened his waist, held up the sweet potato in his hand and asked, Lanner, is this the one? This thing is longer than the potato we started digging. Is it eaten the same way as the potato? Young Lanner took the sweet potato and said with a smile, it's a little different, but it can be eaten as a meal. Seeing that the three brothers had already dug enough to eat, the second brother and the third brother went to collect firewood, and Tsuni and I went to hunt rabbits. We will go to the pool for barbecue later, and the third brother knows where the water pool is. The speed of the division of labor and cooperation between the people was still very fast. After half an hour, young Loner came back with 4 rabbits. Asking the 3 brothers to deal with the rabbits, she dug a shallow pit, buried the sweet potatoes in it, and set firewood directly on top of the pit. Just started to burn the fire, because there is no burnt grass and red carbon, the sweet potato is placed directly under the firewood, and it will be directly burned into carbon ash. So use a shallow pit to bury it, and it will be just right when it is cooked. Wait for the rabbit to be roasted until it is full of oil, crispy and browned. Everyone salivated when they smelled the fragrance. The 2 rabbits were shared among the 4, and young Lana refused to eat only 1 rabbit leg. She wanted to save her stomach for sweet potatoes. After eating the roasted rabbit, young Lana put out the firewood, carefully swept the ashes aside, and released a sweet smell of sweet potatoes. It smells so good, sister, is this the smell of sweet potatoes? Young Tsuni took a big bite of the rabbit meat. Okay. Young Lana picked out all the sweet potatoes, picked a big sweet potato and squeezed it with his hands. Well, it was soft and cooked. He took one and peeled it, took a bite, that's the taste. After a few people were full, they began to pack their things. Wrap the remaining 2 roasted rabbits in leaves and put them in the basket. There are still a dozen roasted sweet potatoes left, and put them all in the basket. Young Lana lifted her back basket, looked at the 3 brothers and said, let's go to the sweet potato field, pick some sweet potato leaves, and cook them for dinner. The second brother was surprised, can you still eat the sweet potato leaves? Well, the taste is not bad, crisp and refreshing. Young Tsuni heard that it was so delicious, and urged, then what are you waiting for, hurry up, we are going down the mountain after picking. Second brother Young Tsunji looked up at the sky and said, it's time to go back after picking the sweet potato leaves. Plucked a few handfuls of sweet potato leaves, and they walked quickly to Yixianshan. Young Lana walked last, and found a jar from the space with her mind. When passing through the first line of sky, she saw centipedes, so she put them into the jar with chopsticks, and out of the first line of days, she has harvested more than 20 centipedes. Cover with a lid and return to space. Go back along the road and pay close attention to the vegetation in the woods. Because no one has set foot there all year round, the products in the deep mountains and old forests are very rich. Going back to the place where the potatoes were placed, young Lana had already picked 3 Ganoderma lucidum, and they were at least several decades old. Wild Ganoderma lucidum of this quality is hard to find in the 21st century, and it is basically cultivated artificially. There are hundreds of varieties of Ganoderma lucidum in the world, and Sun Simiao, king of medicine, once called the Ganoderma lucidum found in the forest, Cheongzhen. Later, people called the wild Ganoderma lucidum in this mountain forest, Cheongzhen Ganoderma lucidum. Everyone speeded up on the latter part of the road, and finally reached the foot of the mountain before the sun set. The 4 brothers and sisters breathed a sigh of relief and smiled at each other. In fact, everyone was tense in the inner dense forest. Fortunately, no poisonous snakes and beasts were encountered. Young Lana's eyes flashed a sly light, and she glanced at the bushes not far away. Pretentiously shouting to the 3 brothers, "Brother, I'm almost starving to death, and there is no food to be found on the mountain. What should I do?" Young Lana blinked at the 3 of them. What else did Yang Tsuni want to say? Second brother Yang Tsunji slapped him on the back of the head and shouted loudly, "Why are you still dawdling? You can't die of hunger. Go home." The third elder brother walked home quickly with a suppressed smile. Yang Laner innocently blinked his eyes and followed. Yang Tsuni watched the second elder brother stare, and followed them resentfully. End of this chapter. The leisurely countryside of the farmer's daughter-in-law. Chapter 10, Tube Too Wide. Chapter 10. The tube is too wide. After everyone walked away, Qian's bushes emerged. Staring at their backs, he spat, "Pickling and despicable stuff, it made my old lady squat for nothing all day." It turned out that Qian Shi was at the foot of the mountain this morning, and saw young Lana and 4 of them going up the mountain. I want to wait for them to go down the mountain. If there is something to gain, I will go to her house to take advantage of it later. Unexpectedly, Jan Lanner saw through it. As soon as Jan Lanner entered the house, Bauer Bayer led a group of little kids to follow. Mother, did you find anything delicious on the mountain today? Hello, Aunt. Mother, delicious, delicious. The three brothers watched dotingly as Jan Lanner was overwhelmed by a group of brats. Jan Lanner got a headache from the noise, looking at the expectant eyes of the little kids. He hurriedly coaxed, everyone is good, everyone has it. As he spoke, he took out roasted sweet potatoes from the basket beside him. Come on, one per person. Everyone sent one, and Jan Lanner hugged the second brother's youngest son, Jan Chinhao, who was 2 years old, and sat on his lap, picked up the sweet potato in his hand and taught them, peel the skin. Now, revealing the golden core inside. Take a bite. Xiao Chinhao took a bite, So cool. The other kids swallowed and followed suit. The 4 brothers and sisters looked at the children eating with relish, and smiled at each other. In fact, they were a little sad. Feifei is also sad, is there any? Dear, please recommend, please collect. At this time, Zhou and he walked in with water, are you thirsty? Come drink water, you have worked hard today. Please trouble the 2 sister-in-laws. Jan Lanner took the bowl and said with a sigh. My little sister is gone, it's really hard work for you to go up the mountain with your husband and the others. My brothers and sisters and I can only help you cook at home, so I don't dare to call it hard work. Mrs. He glanced at her, smiled and turned to another. The bowl of water was given to the second elder brother, and he smiled softly, husband, drink the bowl of water. The other 2 brothers also took the bowl from Mrs. Zhou, thank you, sister-in-law. Ms. Zhou has been doing things silently at home because her husband was conscripted, and has no sense of presence. Jan Lanner laughed like a dog's leg and said, then I will trouble all the sister-in-laws in the kitchen. The food you cook is the most delicious. He laughed, Poochie, and said, it's your sweet mouth. Jan Lanner grinned, second sister-in-law, there are 2 roasted hares and roasted sweet potatoes in this basket, heat them up to satisfy the family's hunger, and the 2 back baskets are potatoes, which can be stewed, fried, or fried. Pancakes. Oh, this is a new food. Let's try to make a pancake later, then shred it and stir-fry it. What do you think? He asked anxiously. In fact, his cooking skills are good, Jan Lanner just reminds her, and she can know how to cook. Yang Tsuni couldn't wait any longer, and urged, second sister-in-law, just watch and do it, and have dinner early today. After dinner, the family discussed the next arrangements. Everyone agreed, and tomorrow the 4 brothers will lead everyone into the mountain first, and then they will come back to move daily necessities. After everyone discussed it, men and women were settled in separate houses on the floor. Jan Lanner didn't know if the others fell asleep, but she had a good night's dream anyway. The sky is slightly bright, and everyone has cleaned up after breakfast. A group of people marched towards the inner circle of Dachong Mountain. Jan Lanner walked in the front to open the way, and the second brother held the line at the end. Proceed carefully all the way, and arrived at the valley without any danger. When they saw the scene in the valley, everyone was amazed. After taking the family to the cave to settle down, On Lan's 4 brothers and sisters returned home non-stop to move other living items. Last night, she had a lot of belongings, but she had already put them in the space. After packing up and going out, Jan Lanner locked the door. Turning around, she saw Qian sneaking, lying on the bottom of the slope, poking his head there. Seeing that Jan Lanner found her, she simply walked over. Yin Yang said strangely, hey. Where are you going? Are you moving or fleeing? Mrs. Yang, it's not because your family Tan Anjuan can't come back, are you planning to remarry? Jan Lanner looked at her with a look of, caring for the mentally retarded, are you a government servant in the Pacific? Qian was confused, what? Pipe too wide. Ms. Qian stared at her in disbelief, you are shameless, little whore, Tan Anjuan doesn't know if he is dead or not. He just wants to remarry. Jan Lanner's eyes flashed coldly, and the corners of her lips raised slightly, whether I move or flee, is it none of your business to remarry? You want to remarry. As your sister-in-law, I can't say no to you. Little bitch, I want to teach you on behalf of Tan Anjuan, how to be a daughter-in-law. Qian said, rushing to do it. The three Yang Tsuanji brothers stood forward and stared fiercely at Qian. You try it? Let me see which hand you dare to move, and I will break it. Want to bully their sister. Looking at the three brothers, Mrs. Qian really didn't dare to make a move. But she was not reconciled to going back like this. Never before was she bullying Yang Shi, pointing at Yang Lan'er sternly and shouting, You wait for me. After speaking, he ran away in despair. Pass by, don't miss it. Give some support, favorite, recommend. Give me some love, blah blah. End of this chapter.